Hello, everybody. This is Ethio Engine from Rochester, Minnesota. We podcast our program every Sunday from 11:30 to 2:30. So we're here today with guests. We have two guests today. So our first guest is Geof Paquette. He worked for Union for 16 years. And then he's going to share us the experience he had. And then our second guest, Feben Ghilgaber. So she also worked for Union for 15 years. First of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let me start from Geof. Geof, I know you for a long time, but can you tell us a little bit about yourself, the people who don't know you?
Sure, absolutely. My name is Geof, as Sammy already said. So I moved to Minnesota for the second time now to the Twin Cities in 2018. I lived here before in 2007, 2008, and I was at the time volunteering for the union, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but I was working in a hotel volunteering for the union. I moved away for a period of time. I moved to Chicago and kept working and volunteering with the union, and then was hired by the union in 2011. And my now wife and I, girlfriend at the time, moved to Florida to work for the union down in Florida. And there was a long corrupt and union, part of our union down in Orlando, Florida, that was people were sent to turn around. And so we worked on that for a long time, which was a big part of my life. But I am a guy from the suburbs of Detroit, Michigan. I went to school in Washington, D.C., and I got involved in the union and activism and organizing at my college, where we were working with janitor workers to organize the union there. And
Great.
that was the first, that was my first experience.
Thank you, Geof. Now here's your time, Feben. So please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Sammy. My name is Feben Ghilgaber.
Welcome.
I've been a member of Local 17 for the past 15 years. I've been involved with Local 17. And also, I became a union shop steward because I felt like it was very important to be involved as an African.
Yes.
I started being involved as a union store member. And also, after that, last year I took a leave of absence to organize with Local 17.
So I know you, both of you guys, so you work hard for the union, and it's been a long time. You're helping a lot of people. The reason today I brought you here is I want you to share the experience you have for a long time for union. Let me go to Geof. So you have a big experience on union. Mm-hmm. Please tell us what's union and what's working for people. I know union for by myself.
Yep.
So it's a labor association, and they work Local 17. Yep. So you have been working there like for a long time, mm-hmm. and then it's working for people. Like what's union means, there's a lot of people, they don't know what was working for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I think just to be the most basic about it, like, as you said, there's a big, strong community of Ethiopians in Rochester, as there is in the Twin Cities, as I know there are in D.C. as well. Yes. And so in community, when there's many of us, we're safer. And the union is just based on that idea. So instead of by race or by country of origin, people that work together in the same spot, when they can be together and speak with one voice to the boss, it means that they have more power to talk about their wages, benefits, everything that we have to think about when we go to work. And so for me, it's the basis of which working people can have any power against rich corporations or bosses or whatever.
Right. Yeah, as you mentioned, so there's many people, they don't know their rights, like they don't know what to do, and when something happen, they don't know where it should go to contact. That's why I ask you. Thank you for answering that.
Sure.
Let me go to Feben, and then I know you're helping a lot of people at the airport, especially. You organize like the union part. So based on your experience, there is a lack of unity when you come to the Habesha people. What do you think, based on experience, that lack comes from?
So when we say union, union means us, me, you, and all the workers.
Yeah.
So there's a company and there's workers.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the union, there's a contract that's negotiated between the workers and the
Yeah.
employer.
Your mic is make
In order to get that contract done,
Yes.
our involvement, the worker involvement, and our unity is very important. Because when we negotiate the contract, that we have to get organized before we negotiate the contract, and then know what's our need and what we want and what we need. And so that's where it starts. So our unity starts right there. So we all have to be together to get a good contract, because we're the one that knows what we want, what benefit we wanted to get. So it's good that the Habesha community and then the other community, we all work together to create a very strong contract for us. So once we get the contract, we have to be the one to negotiate the contract, not the president or not the business agent. It has to be the workers to sit with the company to create a very good contract that will work for us.
Right.
When we sit to negotiate the contract, it's a way of educating ourselves. What are we, negotiating? So once we get a very good, strong contract, it shows the company that we know our right. This is coming from us. This is what we want. And it shows that how strong and powerful the worker we are. And so when we sit in the contract, that's a way of educating. So we will know what's our right, and then we will know what are we negotiating, what we're going to get going forward.
Great. So you explained it very well. Yeah. So Geof, when we talk about union, it's the voice for the employees for everywhere with different race, different religion. I remember one time it's like the one job should be enough movement. I saw your wife in that cold weather, Maggie. She was getting birth like around that time. So she brought her kid with her in that cold weather. Where does that commitment comes from? Because I was amazed by her. Like she brought her kid in that weather. Like even if I was feeling like cold, you know. Yeah. So can you tell us about that?
I mean, Maggie is a tiger. She's just very strong. I mean, I think for both of us, for a long time, the union was the most important part of our lives. I mean, obviously each other, but in our relationship. But the union for us is more than just a job, for sure. It's a vocation, and so like a priest is called by God to serve in the church, and I very much feel like I was called in my contribution to humanity or whatever in the world is to work for the union and to train people about that we're stronger together. So to your question, Maggie and I had a child last year in September, and that has been the first time in my life that I've experienced. This is our first kid, so it's the first time in my life that I've felt that my calling was something else besides the union, and that it's to raise my little girl. And so for Maggie and I both, it's commitment to bring our daughter, but I want to raise someone that is believes in the rights of people and believes in fighting and believes that we have to stand up when things are important. And I'm sure she won't remember being there because she was months old or weeks old or whatever. But I know that Maggie and I both wanted to start off from the beginning, not letting our daughter Maxine hold us back from that, but instead as a reason to why we have to continue to fight and be together, and that was just one example of when Maxine's been on the picket line.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So growing up a kid to full confidence, this is a very good example for your kids too. I saw you, Feben, on that movement too. So you participating a lot of community works. I remember one Sibley Manor apartment, and then you helping people gathering information. So tell us about that. What was that happening, and what's that for? What was that benefit? Yep.
Okay, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to give you an answer to that. But before that, I do like to say something about the one job.
Oh, one job should be enough. Okay, yes.
To me, that was a very powerful yes when I saw Megan up there. Because it was very important for everybody to participate, because one job should be enough. People should just work one job and be able to live a basic lifestyle. Because if you look at our community, most of our people, they work 2 jobs. When you are working 2 jobs to survive, to have just a basic life, and you are losing your children, you are losing your life. So when you are working 2 jobs, who's raising the kids? So one job is a very, very important thing that we need to acknowledge. And I would like to let our community know it's a very important thing that we need to participate. Because if we participate on this, then going forward, we don't have to work 2 jobs in order to survive. We can work one job and then still be able to be a father or a mother to our children, and we'll still be able to have a good life.
Right.
The second question is about the Sylvia Manor. Yes, we had a partnership with the JCC, the Jewish community. Our union said, we talked about this and said, what can we do to better our members' life? We said, we do represent our members, we work for a good contract, and also we said, let's find out how are they living, especially when we were doing the one job should be enough. We wanted to do a door knock to find out what needs do they have, how can we help them improve life. So we start doing a door knock, talking to our workers who lives in Sylvia Manor apartments, just to find out how is life.
Right.
How is the apartment? Do they want to get organized to solve the issue they have in that apartments? How can we help them to better their life? So we did really good, and I think we did about 4 door knock, and then the pandemic came, and we couldn't do it no more. And hopefully that will be something that after things get situated, that we can continue doing, because our members were very happy. We were able to find out a lot of issues that they have there, and then we were able to inform them that you have a right. You can get organized, and this is how you do it. So just to give them information and to let them know that our union goes beyond representing people, to find out what kind of lifestyle they have and how we can assist them better.
Right. We picked, if I can just say, we picked Sylvia Manor because it was a apartment complex that a lot of the airport workers live at, because it's close to the airport, but yet pretty affordable. And so there's many members of our union that work in the food service at the airport, but also workers that do the cleaning and are in some other unions. And so it was a way too to just go out and be able to talk to members. Maybe you wouldn't, like Feben is a top leader at her restaurant. When she says shop steward, that's what that means, top leader. But we were able to go out and just knock on people's doors. And I mean, we ran into Sammy that day, not even thinking that we were going to see him. And then it was a way to kind of meet like the regular kind of worker and talk to them about the union for the first time. It was pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah. So by chance, I was participating both events. The first one job should be enough. I was participating in that movement, and I thought that was first time when I go there. Like he was asking about the sky shift workers, money, and sometimes, but that was different. And the second event at Sylvia Manor apartment, it was very hard for you guys, like knocking door for new people and meeting new people. That was very hard, but it was very important. So let's hear music, and I will ask you another question about the experience, what you have, and then everything. Let's hear the music.
Sure.
በልንጓዝ በልንግባ ሸገር በልንጓዝ በልንግባ ሸገር አሃ እንስለቀው አብረን እንሻገር
በይንጓዝ በይንታረር እንጓዝ በይኒድ ሀረር ከሸጋው እስከ ቆንጆቿ
በልንጓዝ በልንግባ ሸገር በልንጓዝ በልንግባ ሸገር እንዝለቀው አብረን እንሻገር የወለጋኖት ባይነናይና ለጌጥ የሚሆን እንገዛና ኢሊባቡርን ከፋንም አልፈን በሸዋስ በኩል ቤት እንሄዳለን
ወሎን አልፈን ላሊበላን አይተን በአዋሽ በኩል በገዋኔ ታጥፈን አዋሽ ደርሰን በባቡር ተሳፍረን አዳራችን ወደ ሀረር ገብተን ከጀጎል ተጉዘን ዘልቀን ከአምስቱ በር እስኪ በይኔው የቆንጆቹን ሀገር
አብረን እንጓዛሂን በየሀገሩ ያምራል ይደምቃል ላይ ይሞቃል ፍቅሮ
በይንጓዝ በይኒድ ሀረር ከሸጋው እስከ ቆንጆቿ
በልንጓዝ በልንግባ ሸገር በልንጓዝ በልንግባ ሸገር እንዝለቀው አብረን እንሻገር ሶፉ መሯሻ ከባሌ አየን ሲዳሞ ደርሰን ዳሞ ተጉዘን ከዛም ባርሲ ላይ አዱን ተሻግረን ሰሜን ስንወጣ ባየር ተጉዘን
ከአስመራ ላይ አድርገን ማምሻችን ከምጽዋ ከአሰብ ወደባችን በቀይ ባህር የመርከብ ጉዞችን ወደ ዳላክ ወደ ደሴታችን ከጎንደር ተጉዘን ፋሲል ግንብን አይተን እርቁንም ዋልያ ሰሜን ተመልክተን ለጤፉም ለማሩም ጎጃም ቃኝተናል አባይና ጣናን ዞረን ጎብኝተናል
የመጨረሻውን አይን የዚህ ጉዟችን ሸገር ላይ ይሁን የማረፊያችን
እንጓዝ አብረን መራራቂ
All right, we're back, everyone. This is Ethiopian from Rochester, Minnesota. We're here with guests Geof and Feben today. We're discussing about union, and then they're sharing us the experience they have. So, Geof, you know many Ethiopians, and then you got big participation with the Ethiopian community. So it's like, what do you know about Ethiopia? Maybe like
yeah.
It's like three things maybe,
yeah.
you know.
So I mean, this is kind of unrelated, but when I went to school in DC, so I grew up in the suburbs, the white suburbs, very plain, normal, whatever. And going to DC was the first time I lived in a bigger city. And the first most exciting meal that I had there was Ethiopian food in one part of DC that was where lots of Ethiopians lived. So that was like the most exciting kind of first college experience that I had. But just about Ethiopia in general, I mean, I know that there are so many languages spoken in Ethiopia. I think like 80 languages are spoken. I know that it's the only country in Africa that wasn't colonized. We have another coworker who works for the union named Adil, who loves to tell white people or people that don't know about Ethiopia, whatever race, that Ethiopia is the only country that was not colonized by European countries. And then, I mean, I know that. So I think going back to DC, and again, I learned that Ethiopia had a rich history influenced by communism, and for us meaning activists and people that work for the union in DC, we think, and I don't know if this is true, actually, maybe I'd like to talk about this, but we think that the first wave or the wave of immigrants from Ethiopia that first started participating in our union that worked in parking ramps.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we think that they came from some section of people that were involved with socialism or communism, whatever, in Ethiopia, which is for us was a good thing. It meant that people knew that like together we're stronger. So
yeah, because I ask you this question because a lot of Ethiopian, you work with Ethiopians, so yeah, very well. I think it's like more than the people like they are Ethiopian. So thank you for the explaining that.
Sure.
You mentioned about the food, and then I'm gonna ask Feben, what cultural food you wanna cook? I think like you love to cook it, and you wanna like what's your favorite cultural food you wanna cook? And
to be honest, I'm not a good cook. Cooking is not my favorite thing, but I love shiro, so I'll keep it with shiro right now.
You like shiro?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's because I think it's easy to cook it.
It is easy to cook it.
what is churro? Churro?
Shiro is garbanzo beans. It's a powder.
Okay.
And then it's easier to cook because the only thing that needs to involve is onion, tomato, garlic, and then you put the powder and boil it, and then
Very easy. So let's back to about union. So you worked for 16 years. You were still working, like you work very hard. So what motivated you to stay this longer? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it is hard. It's hard because there's, I believe that there are rich people and corporate interests that are trying to push one way, and working people and unions of working people are trying to push the other way. And so by that, I mean, I think it's really important what Feben talked about that one job should be enough to live. We should not be working 2 and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. It's a ridiculous and disgusting part of our country. And America, I think, is one of the worst representations of it, because it's like there's so much wealth and there's so much richness, and so much of it goes to the richest people of our country, and it's not right. And so even though the work is very, very, very hard and can be demoralizing because we don't see a lot of victories, I think that the times that we do win, and that could be a small win of like winning the union at a workplace for the first time, or a good contract that moves people forward, where they can maybe even start to think about, is this job going to be enough to support me and my family, this one job, and I can quit my other job. But it's important to hold on to those victories. And so one of the biggest victories that I think about when I get down about, are we going to make it this time or whatever, is in Florida, we're not only part of turning the union around, but the employer was Disney. And so 20,000 of our union members work for Disney, and many other 1,000 work for Disney, but for our union. And we fought for almost 2 years for this raise that moved people forward from making a minimum of $10 an hour to $15 an hour for every single worker. So it was like we created the minimum wage that the government's still trying to talk about passing $15 minimum wage. Like we created that, the people in the union, by fighting and pushing the company in 2018. So we've already had that for 2 years, and literally people that I knew that were cleaning rooms and doing the hard work of housekeeping in hotels went from making $10 an hour to in 1 year making $15 an hour, and are continuing to get raises on top of that. And so I think, now we're in 2020, I believe that people are making $18, $19, $20 an hour cleaning room, doing the same work that they were making $10 an hour 2 years ago. And so like that victory is just like, I got to remember that when things feel bad, that like if we fight hard enough, if we stay committed long enough, like we're going to win. And I believe that more than anything.
Yeah, I think it's a great, it gives you a great satisfaction. Like when the story, like you talk about the Sydney employees. So it's like more than 2,000 employees. You got from $10 to $15. It gives you satisfaction for that. Yeah, that's very true. So Yeah.
If I may add on that,
Yeah.
we are also working on that right now. Minneapolis and St. Paul did pass the $15 minimum wage, but our union has been working very hard to implement that at the MSP airport. Actually, tomorrow is going to be the final vote date for $15 minimum wage in the airport, because we still have workers that have been working there for like 15, 16 years, and they're still making like $12. So hopefully tomorrow is going to be the final list of votes that they're gonna pass $15 minimum wage. So it will be another victory for our union at the airport tomorrow.
This is a good message, actually. So everyone who hears this message, so what they have to do to vote or to participate? Is there any address or information you can provide? Maybe like who's going to participate? The employees only, or?
Actually, it's not the workers. We already passed that. The workers have been fighting for this, and our union has been working very hard. So tomorrow is going to be the airport commissioners going to be voting tomorrow.
Okay.
So there's going to be a press conference tomorrow, and then tomorrow is going to be the final vote dates. So this shows that how our union organizer and our workers worked very hard to get to this stage, and tomorrow will be our victory day. So.
Wow. I hope it's going to be.
The airport council is like the city council of the airport.
Wow.
So it's like the 18 or whatever number of people that vote and control the airport.